Now we are live. Hmm. I guess we are live now. Guess we are live now. Okay. Let me mute my phone. And hello, people. After a long time, we are back with another stream. हम्म, इतना सब कुछ ऑन कर दो मेरा पीसी क्रेजी कुछ नहीं होता अमीर नवाब हाय हेलो ब्रदर by the way if you're not a member of my Discord server, then you can join it from the descriptions link. I often come live on Discord and work on like real projects. Or if you have any questions and doubts, then you can just tag me on Discord and I will try to help you. Okay. Also, I'm just gonna fill this editing stuff area with all the resources. So you'll get all the scripts, plugins, and resources that I have on my PC for absolutely free. And this is the size of the resources. You'll get everything, okay? So this is a 13.7 GB image pack, and there is also video section. Okay, so it's in my SSD, I guess. So I have like 100 GB plus of assets. So if you want them too, then you can join my Discord server, okay? And let's wait a few minutes. I guess more people will join. Then we'll start the actual stuff. Hmm. We close few windows and by the way, just check the audio quality, okay? सब ठीक है, okay. Also, currently I'm working on my portfolio story, so it will be released soon. Let's scroll a little bit more. Press this. I want to create something like this, but with iPhones, with all the 3D iPhones. We'll try that. Yo, Nits69. Hello, brother. How are you? These are some cool animations, We'll definitely try to recreate this style of thing on live stream, of course. Good, you. I'm good, brother. Da, 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 da. How many of are you are like watching first time, like first live? एक्सटेंशन बना लिए? एक्सटेंशन बन रहा है। अभी कुछ एआई रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम चल रही, सो सॉल्व होते ही कर देंगे लॉन्च। 69 years की फोन and next year's nice. Da, 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 da. Look at this designs, brother. I'll definitely try to add few prints like this in my portfolio reel. I'll try this. Da, 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 da. By the way, some of the part of this live stream is gonna be totally in Hindi, and if you don't understand Hindi, then don't worry. My team will provide you a raw video, like the translated and dubbed version of this, so everyone can understand and learn. So don't worry about if you are not from India or don't understand Hindi. Da-da-da. By the way, ये नोटिस किया तुम लोगों ने? The popular apta visual style. Look at this chrome texture, chrome glass type of textures. थोड़ा इनपुट ऑडियो इंक्रीज। ठीक है अब। नाइस आई गेस। हाँ बेटर है। ओके सो स्टार्ट करते हैं देन। एंड मैं पहले ही बता रहा हूँ, ये सारी लाइव स्ट्रीम्स जो आज से लेके अगली 4 लाइव स्ट्रीम होने वाली है, सारे बिगिनर्स के लिए है। If you think you are intermediate or pro level editor, you can just leave. Okay, this is not for intermediate and pro editors, so better you leave and don't waste your time watching this type of things. Okay, so let's start, and let me switch my screen to the Figma so we can start our first class where we will see the main stuffs and basics and all. Okay, so the first question. Okay, before you download the After Effects, you have to know what is After Effect. Okay, because people don't even know what is After Effects, and they try to learn everything and try to create the impossible like things on the software, then get frustrated and then start like complaining about stuff. So before even you download the After Effects, you have to know that what is After Effects and what are the use cases of it. Okay, so in the main industry, the After Effects is mainly used for animation, motion graphics, and VFX stuff. And these are the few words. Those are the main, like you can search them on YouTube or Google to get the better understanding of what they actually mean. Okay, so before you even think to download After Effects, must search these keywords so you'll get a detailed information if it's the best suit for you or not. Main thing to take notes that this is not for like long form videos. I will not recommend you to edit long form videos on After Effects. It's not a coloring type of software where you can like color grade stuff and all stuff. If your main work is to color grade footages and edit long form movies and all stuff, then don't go with After Effects. Learn Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve first. Okay, those are the video editing softwares, and the After Effects is a compositing software. Okay, so you can add bunch of VFX like explosions and visual effects like electricity and all stuff. Okay, so these are the main uses of After Effects. I hope you got my point, what I'm trying to say. So let's move on to our next thing. Okay, let's move on to our next point, which is uses of After Effects. As I mentioned, it's for special effects, motion graphics, ads, SaaS videos, social media content, short form contents, and all of the stuff. Okay, which don't require like bit of, I can say, editing stuff, because editing, video editing and motion graphics are two completely different things. Okay, the video editing is a base and the motion graphics is a different thing, so keep that in the mind. And the next question, is that right for you? Ask your Let me ask you a question. Okay, what's your main goal with After Effects? Like, what do you wanna create in, what type of content you are working on or you want to create in After Effects? So there is like two type of scenarios. Okay, when you are a video editor and just want to add some effects like sparks and all stuff in a normal video, then After Effects is a good software. Okay, you can go with After Effects for that. If your main goal is to color grade the footages or make a app prototype or UI animations, then you can go with After Effects. Not for color grading, of course. I'll not recommend you to color grade your footages on After Effects because it's gonna be like too heavy and not reliable. Okay, use DaVinci or Premiere Pro for that. Or if your work is like prototyping apps and websites, making SaaS videos, explainer videos, then definitely go with the After Effects. It's the easiest software to learn. Okay, you just need like 2 or 3 months to master the basics, not the advanced stuff. Okay, you can learn the After Effects in 2 or 3 months with the proper roadmap and proper guidance. Okay, the next thing, is the other software which works with After Effects. Okay, so since After Effects is a Adobe software, like they have a bunch of software in the Adobe Creative Cloud, so you can use all the other softwares like Premiere Pro, Audition, Media Encoder, Photoshop, Illustrator, and bunch of other 3D stuff, and they work seamlessly with the After Effects. Okay, and there is some other software like Mocha and Figma and other stuff like, I guess, Figma. You can use Figma for like designing and importing frames in After Effects. Then you can use Mocha for like masking and all stuff. Then you can use, I guess, Element 3D type of thing, which are the plugins which give you like a extension to work on 3D stuff. You can also use like Cinema 4D for 3D animations and all stuff. You can link the Cinema 4D with your After Effects and you can work in 3D space seamlessly. Okay, it's like a blender with the integration of After Effects. So these are the few softwares you can use, and let's move on to our next point: interface of After Effects. Okay, so the beginners who just downloaded the After Effects mostly ignore the interface and how After Effects works and the basics and all stuff. Okay, so in this live stream, I'm just gonna show the basics of After Effects and few hidden things that might cause few troubles or create some issues if you don't focus on them. So let me just open my After Effects and let me show the basics. Okay, so these are our After Effects 2023 interface. And since After Effects is a panel based software, these all are panels. You can unlock them like this. You can close them. You can close this. These all are the panels. Okay, you can close, drag and drop, and play around. Okay, let's close. Go to Windows. If you're doing Workspace like this, like me, then go to Workspace and just reset to default, and we'll reset the whole workspace for you. Okay, so the main thing beginners ignore, that is this part. This is the main thing to learn first. Okay, most beginners just ignore this and start following the tutorials and skipping the fundamentals and core, which in future put them in trouble. Okay, so let's start with the file menu. Okay, these are the menus. Okay, these all are the menus. So let's start with the file. From here you can create a new project, create a new folder, add a Adobe Photoshop file. As I mentioned, you can use Cinema 4D with After Effects, so you can import the Cinema 4D file directly in After Effects or create one and directly with this option. Okay, second one is open project. As mentioned, you can open your recent projects or the project file you downloaded from any other websites. Third one is recent projects. You can see all the recently opened projects here. Then browse bridge. Bridge is another Adobe software, so you can use that to browse files and all stuff. Close will close the active composition from timeline or a particular window. Third one, not the third one. Three, four, five, six. Sixth one is a close project. As mentioned, you can close your project. Save for saving project. Then save as, you can save as XML or the lower version of After Effects project file. So currently we are in After Effects 2023. Okay, so let's say I want to save the current project file as a After Effects 2022 version, so I can open that in After Effects 2022. So I come to save as, then click on this 2020.x, then I can open this project in After Effects 2022. Here's the second option, which is for After Effects 2018, I guess, and you can save your project as XML or save as a copy or save as a new project. Okay, then this is not for regular uses, so we'll skip this. We'll skip this also. With the import, you can import bunch of files in multiple ways. So you can import a single file, multiple files from libraries with the Adobe library. Import from Adobe Premiere Pro. You can also import the Adobe Premiere Pro project directly in After Effects. And this Pro import After Effects. Okay, so what you will do, you can import a large scale file directly in After Effects. This is a placeholder, solid, and this last three one are not like in very use. You'll rarely use them or you'll never use them. Okay, so better to skip this. 1 2 3 4, this 4 are not for beginners. This option will show you all the recently imported files. So if you want to quickly re-import the recently imported file, you can just click on this file's name and you can directly import them. Okay, the export will show you few options. You can use Adobe Media Encoder for mass exporting. Second option, it will use After Effects inbuilt queue to render your video or file. You can export the current project as a After Effects to Premiere Profile. So it will generate a Premiere Profile that we can later import and use in Premiere Pro. You can use the Cinema 4D Maxon exporter. If you have created a 3D scene and you want to export that, you can use Cinema 4D exporter. The Adobe Dynamic Link will work seamlessly with Premiere Pro and After Effects. So you can create a Premiere Pro sequence from here, or you can also import your already created Premiere Pro sequence from here. Okay, Find will just give you an window like this. Wait, it's glitched, I guess. Wait. So it will open this search bar where you can find a property or a file in your timeline. Add footage to comp. This is not for us. We'll skip this too. Dependency. To access this dependency drop down, you have to create a project first or composition. Then you can collect files. The collect files, we use collect files when we have to like save and send the whole project to our teammates. So let's say I have finished a project in After Effects, then I have to like pack it up and send it to my one of my friends. So I can just come here to dependency, collect files. It will ask you to save your project first, then you can save it and it will create a folder. Then you can just zip that folder and share it with your like colleague or teammate. Okay, so you can remove unused footage. So when you work on a large scale project, you have bunch of unused files in your project, so you can directly come here in dependency and click on this option. Okay, then you can find missing effects, missing fonts, missing footages. Okay, so missing effects is mainly used for finding like the third party plugins which are missing from your project. Fonts, as it mentions, you can find fonts, the missing fonts from your current project. You can find a video footage or photo. This that can be any type of file. Okay, you can find all of this by clicking on here. Watch folder is not for us. In scripts, you can see all the external scripts that we can use in After Effects. We'll cover this in tomorrow's live stream where we talk about like tools and plugins which we use to speed up our workflow and all stuff. Okay, create proxy when you are working on 4K footages which are very heavy to render and preview. 4K footages and 10-bit footages mainly, you can create proxies for them. Proxies are just low quality videos for like temporary use. You can edit the whole 4K video in 720p quality, then you can directly export that into 4K video. Okay, set proxy. If you have already created some proxies, then you can like use this. Interpret footage, we'll cover that in next class. And all the other things are useless, and just go to project settings, and here are the main things. Okay, most beginners skip this part. So what is this video rendering and effects? So you get like two options here. The first one will use your GPU to render the preview faster. Okay, if you have like high-end graphics card, then I will highly recommend you to select this part, this option, which is CUDA acceleration. It will use your GPU to affect like performance. The main use of this thing is when you are using a third-party heavy plugin which runs on your GPU. Okay, so if you are using lots of third-party plugins, then just set it to CUDA. And if you are working on like normal project, you can set it to Mercury software only. It will use your CPU for that. Okay, to render preview and all stuff. These are some settings which you don't need. The color, if you have a like Apple screen monitor or whatever you use, you can set the colors. This is the depth of the colors. Switch to 32 bits when you use like deep glow and all type of plugins. It will give you a better glow in your project. Okay, but it's also a very heavy effect. Like it's a very heavy thing to use on low end PCs. So I will not recommend you if you are under like 16 GB of RAM and low end specs. So just use this one. Okay, 16 bits max. If you have like high end GPU and CPU, then go with 32. For normal projects, just use 8 bits per channel. Okay, this is your like encoding type Rexon 09. And these are some other like engines and all stuff which are like complicated stuff, so we're gonna ignore that. Okay, this rate, you can change this here, sample rate. This is the expression. We'll cover this in next class. And just hit OK. Okay, now let's go inside edit menu and go to preference. In general, okay, so copy these settings. Okay, so just click on center anchor point in new C players. Okay, then we have to go in preview, adaptive resolution limit. Okay, so set it to the lowest, the highest number. Okay, I'm choosing 1 and 16 because I have like low end specs. Then move on to display. We're not changing anything here. Go to import and make sure to click on this checkbox. Okay, make sure it's enable, otherwise your footage will be green and glitchy if you have like low end specs. So turn this on. Go to output, don't change anything. You can change the grid colors, we'll cover that later. For now, just leave it as it is. Go to labels, you can change the labels color from here. We'll cover that in next part when we talk about like organizations and folder structure and everything. Media and disk cache, set it to minimum. Okay, the minimum 200 GB. Don't go below that. Okay, like don't go for like 50 GB or 100 GB. Go with 200 GB and set it to like your SSD, or currently it's set it, I have set it to my like SSD. You can set hard disk here or external disk, whatever you wanna choose. but make sure it's above 200 or on 200. Okay, otherwise you'll face like lags and all stuff. Then video preview, we're not gonna change anything here. Appearance, you can change the After Effects color. Currently, as you can see, this is a sample box which is blue. You can change it to any other color, but you have to access the console log, yeah, log, whatever it is. Then you can change the After Effects interface color. Okay, for now we're gonna ignore that. Come to new project. You can create a project template. For that you have to like create a folder structure here, and it will load up that folder structure as a template in every new launch of After Effects. Then comes autosave, set it to 1 minute, maximum project versions 5. Okay, next to project. So let's say I have saved my project in C drive, so it will create 5 copies of that as a backup in the same location. So I get like 6 project files. So if one of them crashes, I have a backup. Okay, and make sure to delete the files if you don't need them by going into that folder. And in memory and performance, set it to like the minimum number. Okay, so just drag to left side and it will automatically set to like the lowest number you can set. Then set this to 10% for better performance. And in audio hardware, you can just select your headphones. Okay, currently I'm using my USB device as a headphone, so you can set it from here. You can change the latency, and here device classes and settings. You can control and change the settings of your output device. And audio output mapping, don't change anything, just select your audio device which you are using. Currently I'm using my headphone as USB device, so I've set it to audio device 1. And come to type, you can select the default style. So in font menu, you can change the font size and other settings. Okay, in scripting and expression, just enable this top two checkboxes. It will help you to like use scripts and plugins in future. In 3D, don't change anything. In notifications, don't change anything, and just hit save. Okay, now the main thing, which is purge. So what purge will do, uh, as we have seen, like we can create a cache data folder. Okay, we go to media and disk cache. Let's see. So this is our disk cache. Okay, when it's get full, okay, how are we gonna clear that? Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, let's wait. Let's wait. Let's wait. Let's wait. Okay. So as we have set it this to 200 GB, when it's get full, you can just come here, edit, purge, and from here you can clear that data. Okay, just click on this, and as you can see, I have like 76.4 GB of cache data. I can just hit OK to delete it from my folder and system. You can try this all other options, but I will recommend you to use this the first one. It will show the current size and ask you to if you want to delete or not. Okay, then uh, let's cover the composition settings. So these are your composition settings. Okay, when you create a new composition, you'll get few options, like you can choose a pre-made preset, or you can just set a custom size, height, square pixels. I'll recommend you to don't change this, okay, until you know what you are doing. Set it to square pixels. This is your frame rate, so let's set it to like 30. This is a resolution. This is a preview resolution, okay. So you can set it to quarter or full depending on your like system specs. This is start time code, so you can start your video from 5 second or from 0 second, okay. And the whole duration, so you can set your duration from here. These first two are frames, okay. Second zeros are the seconds, third zeros are the minutes, and the fourth zero is hour zero, okay. So this is 1 hour, this is 1 minute, this is 1 second, and this is one frame. You can set the background color, but this will not the actual background, okay. This will just show this color as a background, as a temporary or for previews. And in advance you can set the motion blur values. We'll explain this in new classes, in future classes. These are the renderers. Set it to classic 3D. Don't go with Cinema 4D for now, since we are not working 3D space, or we haven't added any 3D object in our scenes, okay. So set it to classic 3D, and you can also use advanced 3D if you have an option, and just hit OK. Now from here, in composition preview panel, okay, these are composition preview panel. You can set values. Let's say I want to zoom 100% in this composition, okay. So now we are in 100% zoom. I want to zoom 600% or more, okay. You can select the needed value from here, and you can set it to fit up to 100%, so you can get a full view of your composition. From here you can set preview resolution, but this is not actual preview resolution. To change the actual preview video preview resolution, you have to use the preview panel, okay. This is just a still frame. Let's say I have created a solid here, okay. So currently I'm watching this solid in a quarter resolution, but when I have to play this, okay, let's say I have played this, so it's not playing in quarter resolution, it's taking this resolution as a preview resolution. So if I set it to full, now my preview will play in full resolution. Even though I have set it to like quarter here, it will not take this seriously and use this resolution as a preview, okay. So people get confused when like previews get lag. This is the only reason they have set full resolution here, that's why it's start lagging, okay. So this is a full video playing resolution, and this is a still frame resolution, okay. So currently we are watching this solid in quarter resolution. Let's set it to full. So now we are watching this into like full resolution. Let's set it to quarter for fast our like preview. This is the video resolution settings, okay. You can set a custom shortcut. Make sure to check enable this box. It will take some time to catch out all the frames and play smoothly, okay. Then these are other settings. You can set a custom work area. So I wanna just play 10 seconds of this whole composition, so it will only catch this area and play it, okay. So this is a play from. So let's say I have placed my playhead on 5th second, so it will start playing preview from the 5th second. If I like place it to 0 second, it will start playing from the 0 second, okay. So, and if you set it to start of the range, then no matter where my playhead is it's always play from the 0 second, okay. And you can also set a preview frame rate. So let's say if you created a 60 frame rate composition, but you wanna play that in 30 frame rate, so you can do that too from here, okay. Let's say you wanna skip few frames, like 5 frames or 2 frames. Okay, so you can set that to here. Okay, and we covered this part. So this is a video resolution. You can create custom resolutions for your videos if you're working in like 4K videos, but that's a very rare case. We are not gonna cover that. Okay, and this is your effect and preset panel, where you can see all the your plugins and inbuilt presets you get with the After Effects. Currently, I have installed like so many plugins, so I have lots of options. But if you have just downloaded the After Effects, you only gonna see bunch like less. This is the Redgen plugin, this is a Survivor plugin, and there are a bunch of other plugins. Okay, so let's close this. This is a library. If you have a like your Adobe Creative Cloud account login, then you can use this library here. Okay, currently I am not logged in my Creative Cloud account, so I see nothing there. Okay, this is our character panel. From here you can change the text settings and all stuff, and you can change the font weight. These are the default colors. This is a color picker. You can pick a color from your scene, and this is your solid color. This will turn off your solid color, so it will only use stroke as a fill. Okay, this is a font size, this is your height, this is your spacing, this is your like spacing and how it's work. Okay, this is your stroke pixel size. So currently if we created a font or type something, it will use 60 pixel of stroke here. Okay, you can set stroke above fill or fill above stroke. Okay, so you can play around with the settings too. There is a font height. Don't change it in any scenario. It will stretch your font unevenly, so I'll not recommend you to use it. With this option you can use all bold, no matter if you type in like normal text or something, it will automatically bold out everything. This will use italic for all text. This will capitalize all of your fonts even if you type with the caps lock off. Okay, and you can set this to small caps, so your first letter will be in capital and the other ones in like small caps. This one for top, this one's the bottom. You can try this stuff by your own. This is a paragraph, so it will start from the left to right. You can select it to center, and if you are writing in Arabic or any other language, then you can use the left align. ये बेसिक कब तक चलेगा? नेक्स्ट क्लास तक, मैंने पहले ही बताया था. So also you can set the paragraph gapping and all stuff from here. So let's close this by clicking here. This is your tracker. It's mainly used in stabilizing footages or track some 3D points and all stuff. Okay, this is some advanced stuff, so we're gonna skip this. Container fill, we'll skip this too. And let's come to our main area, okay, which is the timeline area. So currently we have created a comp. You can see the comp name that we created. These are few options. You can try them too. And let's create a temporary layer. So these are the few options you'll get in timeline area. You can drag and place them whenever you like. So let's say I want name to be after this. Okay, wait, it will automatically snap to areas like this. You can drag and place everything according to your needs. Okay, so this is the I button. You can on and off your layer. This is your volume. You can turn off the audio of specific layer. This is a solo layer. If I create like another solid with a color of like red, let's say this purple color. Okay, I just wanna see the purple layer here. Okay, so I will just solo this layer. No matter the other layer icon is on or off, it will just show me the purple layer here. Okay, third one is lock, and the fourth one, you can lock the layer, so you can change the other layers position without affecting the top layer. Okay, so you can set it to there is a side layer button, you can hide them by click on this icon. So if I enable the side icon here like this, it will turn like this, and I click on this, so it will hide my layer from the timeline. Okay, uh, it's very useful when you have like bunch of layers, like around 200 or 300 layers, you can use this side button. Okay, this is a continuous rasterize button. We'll cover that in some advanced classes or workflows. For now, ignore this. Okay, one, two, and it will show the effects. If any of the layer has any effects, then it will show it here. Okay, we'll ignore this too. And these circles are for the motion blur. It will represent that motion blur is enabled on your layer. So currently we have enabled the motion blur, so when we animate this layer, it will get affected by motion blur. Okay, by the motion blur settings, we have set it into the advanced, so it will use these settings to apply motion blur in our layers. Let's turn off this, and you can turn off all the layers motion blur by click on this icon, so you don't have to like scroll through and turn off on each layer. You can just use this button. Okay, this adjustment layer icon, you can turn any of your layer into adjustment layer by clicking on this. Okay, if I click on this, it will turn into an adjustment layer, then I can put an effect on this and it will affect the other layers below it. Okay, uh, this 3D cube represent the layer is 3D or not. So currently we have 2D layers. If I click on this, now our this purple layer is in 3D. We can rotate this in 3D space like this. Okay, and then this is our source layer name and our layer name. Okay, so the source name will take the name from your project panel and use that here. Okay, and the layer name is a actual layer name, so I can rename my layer in two different things. Let's say I have created a name here, or I just name it layer 1, so I can drag and drop this layer here. Okay, let's say it's a composition, so we can't use that. Okay, wait, so let's take this composition as a example. Let's say I have named this layer 01. Okay, and use that into my this timeline. The artist, hello brother, hello. So the source name will show the actual name of the layer we have inputted into our project panel, and in layer name we can change it to layer 9090. Okay, now we have two names of single layer. So if I click on this, it will show the actual name of the layer, and in layer name it will show the second name we have inputted here. Okay, so let's say we have named this layer 1. Okay, but we have 25 layers here, so we can just rename it. Okay, so let's name it to layer 25, and we can just toggle around two names. Okay, so it's easy for the organizing all the layers and all stuff. This is a parent link, and this is called pick web. Okay, the spider type thing is a pick web. You can hover on it and it will show the short description of it. uh, Let's I have to ask you one question. Where are you from in Gujarat? I'm from Navshari. So the parent and link will work in this way. Okay, let's turn off this all the things we have just created. Oh, this here. Okay. Now let's say I wanna link this red layer to my purple layer. Okay. So whenever I move my purple layer, the red layer will move with it. Okay. So I will just open this and set the purple layer as a parent. Okay. So now I can just move my purple layer and it will automatically change the position of red layer according to it. Okay. If I rotate this layer, it will also rotate the red layer. Okay. So this is a simple explanation of parent and link. If you hit F4, okay, F4 on your keyboard, you will see these options. So this is a layer style thing where you can change the type and mode of the layer. So you can set it to overlay or screen or anything. Okay, difference. You can try this all stuff by your own. Okay, this empty area shows that this layer is track mated to anything or not. Currently it's showing nothing because we haven't used the track mate option yet. Okay, so if you see like something like this, wait, like this, then this layer will is in use of track mate. Okay, currently we don't need this, so we'll just turn off this, and this is a track mate option. Okay, so let's set it to shape one, and we have to unlink this. Okay, so we can see what's actually going on here. So we have set it to our red layer. Our red layer is our mask. Okay, so if we move this out of that red layer area, okay, so it will disappear. If we move it to in red layer area, then it will reappear. If I enable my toggle I button, then you can see that it's not visible out of that red area. Okay, so this is a basic explanation of track mat. You can do the same with red layer and purple layer, and it will use purple layer as a mask of the red layer. Okay, Ayush Kumar, hi, hello brother. Your English is much good, bro, and I'm also trying, bro. I'm not like that much good in English, but I'm just trying. Can you tell how to add the layer color change panel? Layer color change panel. I just go to Windows and I guess we'll get an option of properties. It's a newer version of the After Effects. If you are using like the older version of the After Effects, then you'll not get that option. I think you're talking about the properties panel, which is in After Effects 2024 version. Currently, we are using After Effects 2023 version. Okay, so we don't have that option here. So let's move this area here, and you can also hide these things. Okay, so just a right click on it and hide this like this, and you can just see your layer names and can preview all the things. Okay, it will save your timeline space if you're like long as timeline, like a hour long timeline. Then you can also like enable them from here. You have like bunch of options here. You can see the endpoint in and out point, the duration of the layer. You can stretch or like play with the timing of the layer. It will also work on your video layers. Okay, so you can fast forward your video or make it really slow. So if you set it to like 50%, so your video is playing like slow mo. No, yeah, okay. So if you set it to like 50, then your video will be fast forwarded, and if you set it to 150, then your video will be slowed. Okay, so it will increase the like the duration of that video by stretching it. So you can use this stretch to fast forward and slow mo the video, but I'll not recommend it to use it. This is your AV feature. You can enable your toggle eye button, audio button, solo layer, and lock layer. And let's drag it to like here, and you will get other stuff here like the parent link, as we have seen the comments. We don't need this comment, of course, because we are not working in a team mode, okay, or on team project. We are working as a solo project or man, whatever you want to say. This is a mode. Okay, so as you covered, you can change the layer mode and track mat and other uh, key points. These just switches. You can make it 3D, enable motion blur, enable the layer adjustment layer stuff and all thing. Okay, you can enable the rasterize layer, psi layer, and all. So we usually hide this. We only need this few things, which is this toggle buttons and parent link. We don't need modes and all stuff. We can delete this, and let's cover this part. Okay, so from here you can set it to adaptive resolution, so it will adapt the resolution according to your system requirements and specs. So if you like have really low end laptop or PC, then set it to like adaptive resolutions. You can see your wireframe here. You can also off this, so you can see the final video quality directly. You can click on this and it will open a box where you can change the settings and all stuff, but we don't need this. This is a toggle transparency grid. Okay, so we don't have any layer in our composition, so we can see through it. Okay, let's say I have created a solid. Okay, so now we can't able to see the background since we have our solid layer here. If I place this in the center and reduce the scale of this, so you can see if I export this video as a like overlay, then it will show this empty area. Okay, it will not render this area if I render it with QuickTime and all other settings. So it will export this box as a like overlay. So you can check that too. I want to learn one thing from you which you do very well, but I don't know how to spell it. You can use ChatGPT for that. You can tell the ChatGPT in your native language and translate it, bro. Okay, so this is a basic use of this transparency grid. So you can check which area is transparent in your composition and which is filled with these layers and all. This is our toggle mask and shape path visibility. So if I like select my pen tool and start drawing like this, okay, currently it's enabled, so I can see if I select this, then I can't able to see the points I have created. Okay, but if I enable this, okay, so you can see these points. Let me just hide my solid. So wait, we cannot turn off this. Okay, so now if I select this layer, and you can see these points, so you can move them. But if I turn off this option, okay, so I can't able to see them. So this is a basic use of this. So if you don't want to ruin your points by accidentally moving them, then you can just turn off this and move this layer around. Okay, if you turn this on, you can double click on it and move your points like this. So better to turn this off when you are working on a big project or complicated stuff. Okay, so it will prevent you from like mistakenly moving points and ruining the shapes and all stuff. Okay, these are our region of interest tool, which we use for like cropping the composition. Let's say I just want my composition to be same size as this shape height. Okay, so I will just select this tool and click here and just drag. Okay, now I want only this part as my new composition. So what will I do? I have created a rectangle which will show me this is gonna be my composition. If I go to composition, and here's the option of comp cropping. Okay, you can crop the comp according to this size. If I click on this icon or button, it will create a comp with this size. Okay, so let's click on it. Now our current comp gets cropped to that box area. If I undo this, you can see our original comp was this size, and if I redo this is our new composition. जैसे कोई सीन है और उसके बाद दूसरा सीन या टेक्स्ट वगैरह ऐड करना है, तो आप जस्ट उस पूरे सीन को जस्ट मिनर स्लाइड डाउन करते हो या फिर स्लाइड लेफ्ट या राइट करते हो, एंड सेम उसी डायरेक्शन से नेक्स्ट सीन आता है, लेकिन ट्रांजिशन में आता है। ये सीखना है मुझे। दैट इज द क्रिएटर नेम आई गेस। वेट, there is a creator which will teach you that. If you go in my Instagram account, okay, 3D camera animation. If you go in my followings and click on this, okay, click on this profile and follow this guy and watch his videos, you'll get like step by step breakdown of complex animation and all stuff, how to use transitions and all stuff. Okay, there is a video by him where he explained the same point that you have mentioned in very simple language. Okay, this is a video, I guess. I'm not playing it due to some issues with YouTube, of course. We don't need a copyright strike. You can watch this video or other videos, okay, for like quick tips and tutorials. I'll highly recommend you to follow this guy. Okay, so let's close this and come back to our main class. Okay, got it. Then okay, thanks. So the next tool is our grid and all stuff. From here you can enable the action grid. This enable these lines, which is showing the safe area. If I go outside of this, some parts might get out of focus. Okay, so this is the center area. And the second is proportional grid. This will enable grid. You can use them for rule of third and all other type of stuff and work. Okay, the third one is the smallest grid that we get in After Effects, which is this type of grid. I will recommend to use this in like micro animations, micro interactions and all stuff. But for normal people, the proportional grid is enough. Okay, and you can also enable guides. Currently we don't have any guides. And the last one is rulers. You can just create your own grid system according to your need. So let's say I wanna place some element in the straight line of this edge. Okay, so I can just drag this ruler, place that here, then I can move the second layer to snap with this ruler, and I will get the properly aligned look in that layer. Okay, so let's say I have created a second solid and I wanna align this edge to this edge, okay, in straight lines. So I can just use rulers. It will automatically snap to that ruler. Okay, if I don't use these rulers and remove this, and let's hide this professional grid, then aligning this properly is very hard and like almost impossible type of thing. So we use rulers for this. Okay, so we can just drag and wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, let me turn off my notifications since we don't need them. Okay, now we are back. So let's get back to our points. You can hide these rulers by hitting Ctrl R on your keyboards. Then we have our this color thing. Okay, let's say I want to see the red colors of my layers only. Okay, so I will enable this red from here, so it will show all the red parts available in my composition. Let's say I want to see all the colors, the RGB. Okay, so I can just select the RGB and it will show me the all the colors. Okay, let's say I want to see the green colors, then since we don't have any green color in our composition, we don't see anything. Let's say I want to see blue colors. Okay, so blue colors are in same shade, I guess. So we can see our like white color solids. Let's say alpha. Okay, alpha will show the transparent layer separately and the solid layer separately. Okay, RGB straight means it will show the pixelated quality of your composition. I will not recommend you to use this. Just stick on this RGB. Okay, and this other stuff are not for beginners or intermediates. Okay, it's for like pros and the people who are using this tool for like 10 or 15 years. So we're just gonna skip that. So with this tool, okay, these two things are used for controlling the whole composition's exposure. Okay, this is a brightness. Okay, in simple word, this is a brightness controller. So I can make my whole composition dark like this and a bright like this. Okay, and let's say I just want to reset it, so I can just click on this reset exposure and it will reset. So you don't have to like add exposure effect and see how your scene will look after that, and it will save your time. Okay, just hit this reset button after you checked how your scene will look with the exposure settings. Okay, so we'll click on here, and we can reset the exposure, and you can change the exposure value from here. Okay, now this second two thing is a snapshot. So let's say I wanna take this image as a reference. Okay, or I just wanna see what I have done in composition 1 in composition 2. Okay, so let's delete this. I will show the practical example. Okay, so I will just click on this. It will take a picture of this, a temporary picture. Okay, now I can open my second composition. I come here, it will say show snapshot. Okay, if I click on this, I can see the reference or a frame that I have snapshotted. So if I have to create a same shape like this in this composition, okay, or you have a reference image, okay, you can use that as a snapshot. I will come here, click on this, and I can draw this type of shapes and try to match them. Okay, so this is a basic use of snapshots. You can use them if you need them. Okay, this is our preview time codes. Okay, so if you hover on them, you can change the time, so it will just move your playhead in timeline on a specific frame or second. Okay, so let's say I want to move to frame 10. Okay, so I will just type 0.10, so it will move my playhead to 10th frame. Let's say I want to move to 30th second. Okay, so I will put 30.0. It will move my playhead to 30th second. Okay, currently our composition is in 50 fps, so it will show this here that our composition of 50 fps. Then this composition work like flow. Let's say I have multiple compositions here. Okay, like this, like this, and then if I come here and click on this drop down, it will show that I have 4 layers. Okay, with this same layer. Okay, if I create a duplicate layer here like this and drag them here and click on this drop down. Okay, so it will show me that I have imported layer 1 4 times in my timeline. I have imported layer 4, 3 and 2 here. Okay, then if I go to layer 2 and I imported layer 3, okay, then I will come back here, and if I click on this, then it will show me that I have comp 1. Inside that I have layer 2. If I click on layer 2, then I can click here again and it will show me the inside layers. Okay, so in comp layer 2 we have imported our layer 3, so we can see that here. Okay, so layer 3 is inside our layer 2, our layer 2 is inside our comp 1. So there is a flow chart type of thing that you can use to navigate in different layers really fast. Okay, let's say I just want to go in my layer 3, so I can just come here and click on this layer name. It's very useful when you have like 25 or 30 layers or compositions in same timeline, so you can use this. The shortcut of this thing is tab. Okay, if I click tab on my layer on like keyboard, you will get this type of pop-up and you can just navigate to different layers and open different comps very quickly like this. Okay, so this is a basic of composition panel. Now let's move on to our project panel. Okay, so In project panel, you can see all the compositions, the folders, and if you right click here, you can create a new composition, new folder, new Adobe file import. You can import a new file, new Maxon file, import. These are the same option we have covered in here. So with import recent footage, you can just import your recently used footage. We'll skip this interpret footage. You can change your footage frame rate and all stuff from here. We don't need this. You can create a folder from here like this. You can create a composition from here. This is your setting from where you can set your GPU acceleration or software only thing. Okay, we have already covered this few minutes ago. Okay, so the next thing is bit rates. So you can change the bit depth from here. We have covered this too. You can delete some folders or files with this delete icon, and that's it for the project panel. In the top we have our all the tools that we're gonna cover in the next section. So this is our normal tool, that is our default tool. You can use it as a default. The second one is a hand tool. You can use hand tool to move your preview or zoom in. Okay, let's say you want to zoom in on a specific layer. Okay, so let's move on to our next comp and I'll show here. Okay, let's say I don't wanna change the layer position by mistake. Okay, so I will just switch to my hand tool and I can just drag and see how this is looking and all stuff. Okay, and for the panel docs and all, I will use my normal default tool. With this zoom tool you can just zoom. Okay, you can zoom in your layers like this, just drag and create a box like this and release the button from your mouse. Okay, so it will automatically zoom on that layer on or that specific area like this. As you can see, I am just drawing on a rectangle and it's keep zooming. For zoom out you can just use your scroll wheel, and for zoom you can just click on your composition and create a rectangle like this to zoom. Okay, these are your 3D controllers. We are not covering this since it's for 3D things. Okay, 3D scenes and all stuff, we're not gonna cover that. This is your rotation tool. You can rotate your layers like this. Okay, it will rotate the selected layer in your composition. This is your pan behind tool, which we don't use often. This is your shape tool. If you click here, you can see you have lots of options. You can create a star, polygon, ellipse, and if you wanna create a same shape. Okay, for now if I just select this polygon or let's say a star tool and start like drawing this. Okay, so it will create a shape where I put my like pointer. Okay, let's say I want a star in my center of the composition. Okay, so I will just double click on this layer and it will automatically create a perfect star in the center of my composition directly. Okay, so I don't have to like realign them and change the position and all stuff. Okay, if I create like this, it will create whenever I want, and if I want it to center, I just double click on this. Same with the other shapes. If I want to create a rectangle or a solid to fill my whole composition, I will just double click on it. If I want a square, okay, let's say I want a square, so I will shift and double click on it, so it will create a perfect uh, scale square in our composition. It will take your composition height and create a square. Okay, according to that, it will not take your width. as a square base. It will take your height number as a scale of that square. Okay, so keep that in mind. And the next tool is our pen tool. You can, as mentioned, you can draw shapes and do anything with it. Okay, from here you can change the fill color, and this is a linear gradient, this is your radial gradient. You can try that by your own. Okay, I'm not covering that. Here's your stroke. You can change the stroke width. If I scroll by clicking here, you can change the pixel value of it like this. Let's give it to 0. You can also change the color, and you can also change the type of the stroke color. Okay, so you can set a radial gradient here or a linear gradient here. Okay, you can also change the opacity and the mode. That's it for it. And from here you can add layer controllers. We'll cover this later in the next class. And the third tool is our type tool. Okay, you can type your text, and it will show all the settings in character panel. You can change the fonts, the colors, and all the other stuff. You can change the paragraph settings here, as we covered earlier. Okay, this is a brush tool. We're not covering this since we don't use this in our workflow. So let me just close all this panel. And this is your stamp clone tool, which we are not covering. This is your erase tool. We might cover this in future classes, but for now let's skip this. This is your rotor brush tool. This will for like mask out your subject from the videos and all. This is a puppet pen tool. Okay, we are not covering this too since we don't use this in our workflow or in our projects. I have rarely used these tools. Okay, this brush tool, stamp clone, erase, rotoscope I have used few times, and puppet tool I have never used this. Okay, to be honest, I'm not covering this since I have not used it in the real projects, so I don't know how it actually works. So better to skip it and save our time. Okay, so this is the basic of After Effects. I hope you got a basic understanding of After Effects. I have tried to cover everything that will help you in future classes. If you have any questions, you can just tag me on Discord or DM me on Instagram. I will not recommend you to DM me on Instagram since I have like lots of DMs. You can just tag me on Discord and I will try to reply you all. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions. In the next class, we're gonna cover like our tools and plugins and expressions. Okay. Uh, that class will be like hour or 2 hour long, where I will show you all the tools I use and how you can use them to speed up your workflow and other things that you can use like expressions and other stuffs. Okay, wait a second. Okay, so we have covered the basics and the use cases and all stuff. The next thing which we're gonna cover is that let me check what we go cover next. So the next point, let me switch my screen. Okay, so next thing, which is the problems and things that beginners ignore, that not organizing your layers and files. Okay, we're not covering the layer part in this class, we're just gonna cover the file part. Okay, since the main database you have on your system is the main thing. If your database is messed up or not organized, then you're gonna have like hard time while working on an actual project. So I'll recommend you to create a database by the name of After Effects or whatever you name you like, and create three main folders. Okay, first one is for images, second one is for like videos where you gonna place all your video assets. In pictures you gonna place your all the images and all stuff like jpeg, png, icons and all other stuff. Okay, in third folder you're gonna put all your project files, where you can save all your project files neat and cleanly to browse them in future. Okay, the next point, which is comp renaming. Okay, so your main first comp, the comp you just create after opening After Effects, should be named as a main comp. Okay, just name it capital main. It will help you to navigate into other composition that you might create in your project. So make sure to create a database which will be named as After Effects database or anything you like. Okay, in that create three folders for images, which can be named as pictures. Second one is videos, where you're gonna place all your video files or raw footages. Third one is your project folder, where you're gonna place all your projects and save your projects there. Third thing, to name your first composition as a main comp in After Effects. Third one, which is custom shortcuts and After Effects inbuilt shortcuts. Okay, so you can just search After Effects shortcuts on Google. Okay, you'll get a PDF file by Adobe, which you can read and like memorize all the basic shortcuts and try to practice them in your free time to speed up your like editing workflow speed. It will help you in long term. Okay, in starting it will like take too much time to remember all this and will keep getting forgetting it. So try to like use all the shortcuts in your free time. Even though if you're not creating anything, just open your After Effects, create bunch of shape layers and try to use those shortcuts on them. Okay, just practice in any way. You have to train your hands to click that shortcuts when you need them in future projects. It will save lots of time. The most of beginners who start After Effects never focus on these things. Then they get slower and slower by time, when others are like using custom shortcuts and advanced shortcuts and basic shortcuts. Then they complain about like how I can speed up my workflow and all stuff. The most of beginners that I have seen that like who ask for the speed up and all the tips, they don't use shortcuts. Okay, when they share their screens, they just using their mouse to create layers and applying effects and all other stuff. Okay, to create a keyframe, easing out keyframe, just right clicking and doing easies by clicking on few buttons. You can just hit F9 for easies and your keyframe are eased. Okay, so these are the very small things that you have to practice and learn in your first 3 months if you are new to After Effects. Okay, try to practice daily, at least for 20 minutes. Only shortcuts. Just write down in your notebook or try to remember, or just try in your shape layers and dummy projects and all stuff. Okay, just practice for first month or first 3 months. It will save your time and you'll get better with the time, and you can learn so much things with the shortcuts. Okay, so the next thing, we have covered all this optimization for low PCs. Okay, This is the biggest problem, and every like third or fourth editors keep asking me how to optimize my After Effects. It's keep crashing. Okay, it's keep crashing on my system. I have i3 or like 4 GB RAM. Not 4, like 4 is too less to run any Adobe software, but the 8 GB RAM. Okay, if you have 8 GB of RAM, try to close all your applications, Spotify, YouTube, every single thing. Okay, before you even launch your After Effects, it will help to load it up fast and help you in previewing the animations you will create. The third thing, like the second thing, to optimize your After Effects in low end PC is to buy a SSD. Okay, create two parts in that SSD. Okay, one for your project files. Always save your project file in a SSD. Okay, never save them in your hard disk or any other type of disk. Always save them on your SSD or your use your NVMe. Okay, NVMe is faster than that. 1 TB SSD enough, more than enough, bro. If you have like using this for only After Effects. So here's how you're gonna use it. Okay, create two sections in 1 TB, 500 GB for cache data. Okay, this is the maximum you can use as a cache data. Another 500 is for your assets. Okay, all the assets should be in your SSD. I will not recommend you to use hard disk. Okay, never use hard disk with Adobe softwares and never with After Effects. Okay, so 500 GB of cache data maximum, and minimum is 200 GB. Okay, remember that. Don't go below 200 GB of cache data. Have a look at 80 GB of, make it 200 GB, bro. Okay, the third thing, which is to save your projects assets in your SSD. Okay, never save them in your hard disk. It will slow down your project and workflow and all of the stuff. Okay, software, it will affect your overall performance. So if you even have like 500 GB of SSD like I have, then you can assign it 400 like 200 GB of cache data. Other is for saving my project files, video files, images, and all other stuff that I might choose in my projects. Okay, once you finished your project, okay, once you finished your project and exported it, just collect and save that whole folder. Okay, I will teach you how to collect and like store your project for future uses after finishing it. We'll cover that in next slide stream, I guess. So after you finish your project, remove all the unused thing, okay, from your project file. Then collect files and save that in your like secondary storage, not in SSD. Okay, if you're in a space, then you can save directly in SSD, but I'll not recommend you to do that. Okay, just use like hard disk for it to save your projects, since you don't need the actual project to save on your SSD that you will open after 1 year or 2 years. Okay, prevent text animation, how to use easily. Okay, we'll cover that in tomorrow's live stream. Okay, tomorrow's live stream, or I will put a story on Instagram. We'll get update there. Okay, in that live stream we're gonna cover so many things, so wait for it. Okay, so the next thing which we have covered is optimization for low end PCs. Okay, so never use more than one software. Always use SSD Always store your cache on your SSD. Save your assets on SSD. Save your project files on SSD. Move your old project files from SSD to hard disk, okay, to save some space. And these are the points we have covered to optimize the After Effects for low-end PCs, okay. And your A database, as we covered, your main folder, which is gonna be your database with any name. In that, you're gonna have like picture folder where you can put all your images and all stuff, videos where you're gonna save overlays and all, project files, and you can also add a fourth folder which is gonna be like preset and all. If you download and use presets from YouTube, then you can create a folder for that too, okay. First project and basics, we have already created a short project to show you the basics of After Effects, so this point is our clear. And that's it for today's live stream, okay. So in this live stream we have covered like basics, like before you download the After Effects, what you have to check, what you have to keep in mind, and how to create your first composition and basic interface, your database, cache settings, optimization, and everything to run After Effects smoothly, okay. To get a better understanding for the next live stream, I have covered everything that you will need. In the next live stream, we will cover the plugins that we're gonna use in our projects, the use of plugins. Okay, I'm just not gonna show the plugins like this is a plugin to realign your anchor point, or that's it. I'll actually I will show you, okay, how to use them, okay. Font name, which font? This font. I don't know the name of this font. Let me check, okay. Let me check it for you. We're in Figma currently. We can use Vestego, I guess. It's something like that. Don't know. Let me show you. Okay, wait. The font name is this Vestego Grotesque. Vestego Grotesque. You can screenshot this if you want to. Da-da-da. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. And this whole live stream end here. We're gonna end this live stream here, okay? And you'll get the video version of this in few days if you have any problem, or for the people who haven't watched this live stream live, okay, you can check the video out. For now I'm just closing all this stuff, okay. Also we have missed few points, but let's leave it. You can join the Discord server for the better experience, okay. I'm just gonna post two plugins here for free, okay. So the plugins we're gonna use in next live stream will be available on our Discord servers, to make sure join it. And if you have a friend who is learning After Effects, you can share this server link to them. Discord link you can check the description box, or just open my Instagram, go into highlight section, and you'll get the link from there, okay. So this is the link in our highlight. Don't click this link and it will open the Discord, okay. So you'll get all the scripts and plugins here in the sections. In premium section, I will post the extension that I'm working on in future. In resources, you will get all the images and all videos and all the stuff for free, which is around like 200 or 600 GB in total size. So make sure to join my Discord server, okay? And you can also ask me questions and showcase your work. The editing job section is currently empty since we don't have enough member. We'll try to activate this in future, but for now you can join and enjoy, okay? I will see you in the next live stream. Till then, take care and bye bye. I'll see you in the next one, okay?